really, at the end of the day, it's just the matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
That's why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this Degen?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so we can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Whiskey Wednesday Hangout, Degen Roundtable edition. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. As always, as Agent J likes to always say, we know that time is your most valuable asset. So we thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Before we get the show started, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. And most of all, make sure you share this video across all your URLs. Share it across Facebook. Share it across Instagram. Share it across Twitter. Share it wherever your friends and family are, so they know what kind of content you're listening to. Get them involved and allow them to make a little bit of money in this bull market. We're seeing some great prices on Bitcoin right now. We're seeing some great prices on Ethereum. So we definitely want to get friends and family involved. And if you guys haven't done so, make sure you join our Telegram. You guys will see a QR code right there, right below Mr. Nate McGinnis. You guys can take a picture of that, join our Telegram, or you can check down into the link description. You guys will find the Telegram in there. We got some awesome conversation tonight. Hey, when we get going here in about an hour's time, we're gonna share the StreamYard link. We're going to go ahead and open it up in 10, 15-minute intervals. If anybody wants to pop in, hang out, have a little conversation, introduce yourself, you guys will be more than welcome to. We'll get that started here in about an hour. So for the next hour, we're going to be sitting here chit-chatting, meeting the panel. So speaking of meeting the panel, Agent J, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, senor. I just got done with a few major projects and just in time for the Whiskey Wednesday. So, you know me, man, same shit, different day, looking at crypto, working on my business. Bit of a stressful, well, actually, I would say that March is going to be a bit of a stressful month in the middle of a move, but I'll tell you guys that story some other time. It's been an interesting week. That's for certain. And it's not just in the crypto space. So, but I'm doing good. Glad to be here. Mr. Will Stevenson. How you doing, brother?
I am doing just fine. I'm enjoying some wonderful Mexican moon juice tonight. This is Model O, one of my favorite beers. As far as what's going on, I've just been working on some cool stuff behind the scenes in the background for you guys that's going to be available to you in the short near future. It's a little bit hush hush, but just know that we, the Degen Roundtable, are building you guys some fantastic products in the near future. So been knocking that out, and in my own personal world, I'm still hanging out in Texas for the time being. We've got a couple contracts for some towers to go build up in Iowa, up in Illinois, and I think Ohio. So I'm going to be hopping around the states here in a little bit. So looking forward to seeing all the Hexicans and all the cool crazy places. Nate, bro, what's going on with you, man?
Dude, if you're going to Ohio or Iowa, which one was it?
Both of them theoretically. The Iowa one we haven't got a locked contract on quite yet. They're still pouring the foundation for all the towers up there. But at some point, I know that's up there in the north by where you're at. So
yeah, because that's only 3 hours from Des Moines for me. So
yeah,
maybe.
I'll come
just take a quick drive down there.
But yeah, how you doing, bro?
Oh yeah, no, I'm doing good, dude. Okay, I'm doing absolutely amazing. Earn freaking launched, and like me, Brendan, and several other people in our chat freaking killed it. Like it's only been like it was only like 4 hours, and we're already making like into the triple digit dollars amounts. It's like hell yeah, this stuff is amazing. I'm having fun with this. And it's this is the reason why you prepare for these things. Like how long we've been preparing for this. It's like pulse chain all over again, right? When that appeared, and it's like bam, just instantly do this and just kill it, man. And you're making money. I'm flying high right now.
It's good to hear. Glad to hear you're excited. What are you drinking on tonight, man? You got the big old handle of Tito's sitting beside you like normal? Oh, he's double fisting. All right. Will, what are you drinking on? And you are muted, my friend. While you go ahead and come off mute, I am sipping on a little vodka and cranberry myself. So, Will, what you drinking on?
There it is. I'm so used to using the headset mute, but I can't. It doesn't communicate well. I'm drinking some delicious Modelo, and I drink it. I know it. This is in a glass, but I like to drink it out of a standard bar cup. That's my favorite. My little sippy cup for adults. But I got Modelo, bro. I got my eye. I'll tell you what, though, guys. I got my eye on some fancy ass tequila that's down at the local liquor store right next to me, and I think once this bull run starts going, I'm gonna go get me some Soledad. So that'll be nice. What about you, Jay? What do you got, bro? A nice glass of water?
Mr. Shredded Agent Jay, what are you sipping on over there?
The usual, man. I got my agua.
It's not even a glass of water. It's just a bottle.
The great value agua from Kroger. So
good to hear. Good to hear. I like it. Hey, chat, throw out what you're drinking. We want to know what you guys are sipping on. If you guys are sipping on anything good. We got Colonel Giggles in the house. Well, if it ain't my favorite degenerates, well, we appreciate that so much, Giggles. We appreciate the viewership. Thank you so much. Fast Abdul in the house. What are we sipping on? I think we already went around the table there, but he was a little quick on that question, and we got to answer it before we got to read the question. So there we go. We got Frank in the house. Let's get it, Nate. You got a response to that, buddy?
Frank, it is great to see you here. I'm glad you're here.
We got the Grand Master Fro in the house. Let's get it. 100% and no money, Mike. Vodka Cran. Goodbye, UTI. Absolutely. It's good for your periods, too. So that's all I know. All right. Let's have a little bit of conversation here. Nate, you had mentioned that Earn protocol launched. What are some of the first couple moves you and Brendan had been talking about? I know that we were pretty active chatting about it in the chats. What are your initial thoughts, and how are you feeling about it?
So, I mean, obviously it's like liquid loans, so it's great, right? If you take the first safety precautions. Now, Brendan technically kind of beat me out on this one. I think he did better than me simply because he started off at like a 250 ICR, and he was like he aped in there, right? Versus me, I don't want to lose any of my pulse X, right? So I was like super careful, and I started at 900 because I was expecting to see all this, and then I went and I pulled up the pulse X chart on the 1 second, and I was just watching all the buys and everything going, and as soon as I would see like a big red line, I'm like, okay, and then I would go to liquidations page, liquidate, and hilariously enough, because of that, I actually got the first liquidation. It was a race between me and Brendan, and during the chat live, while it was all happening, Brendan was like, nuts, it failed. And I was like, but mine succeeded. So sorry, Brendan, I stole your liquidation there.
Hey, Jay, Will, are you guys playing around on Earn at all? Or is it just Nate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What are you seeing, Will? What are you playing around with?
Yeah, so I didn't have I wasn't at my computer when Earn launched. I was like way down south over in Houston working on a tower at the time, and so I didn't like get back to my PC until probably about 8 o'clock at night. So the protocol had been live it launched at what, like 4 in the morning or something like that. So it'd been up for quite some time when I got around to it. And so, I was like, okay, cool beans. So I opened up a vault, aped in a bunch of money, and I'm yielding Earn and then rehypothecating and doing that stuff. So I'm just kind of piddling around with it, not doing any like crazy cool moves or nothing fancy. No great big baller moves here. Just fucking around with it and learning how it works. And it's essentially the same thing as liquid loans. You got your loans, you got your redemptions. Well, the redemptions aren't live for another 14 days, so you don't have to worry about that quite yet. But it's the same thing. You can take out collateral against your Pulse Hex just like you can take out collateral against your Pulse. So it's a cool protocol. I do like the user interface. It's a little bit it's more user friendly than Liquid Loans is from like a like simplicity standpoint. Liquid Loans has a whole bunch of like different things you can click on. So Liquid Loans kind of is a little bit more like professional, and I think that Earn is a little bit more like, you know, peanut brain friendly. So that's my take on it, but it's a great program.
Jay, are you
Great,
playing around with it at all, or are you is that too? Are you a little bit too conservative for it? Is that a little bit too degen for you, or what are your thoughts?
No, you nail it right on the head. Not that Earn and Liquid Loans are too degen. They're if you're going to use a leverage protocol, you guys have heard Walrus and Jesse speak about this multiple times, right? That it as far as leverage protocols, Earn and Liquid Loans are probably some of the safer ones out there. But I always try to practice what I preach, and what I tell my consults and what I tell the rest of the gang is that if you do not have the time or attention span to spread yourself out that thin, then you have no business doing so. My portfolio is sitting nicely with a handful of assets that I already like. There are a few others that I'm looking at in GameFi, but like I said, don't want to spread myself out too thin. But maybe in the future, who knows? I like both protocols. I have watched all of the videos that the gang has created, and I have a good fundamental understanding. It's just that I don't want to spread my attention too thin.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. I mean, you said it perfectly. I mean, we know Walrus, we know Jesse. They've been on the stream, they've been on the channel many a times. They put their heart and their soul into the work that they're doing here. But you guys know me also. I mean, you guys know I know a lot about a little, but there are a few things that I know a lot about, and I just don't have the brain capacity to really sort of play around with it. I'm hoping I don't bite myself. You know, I'm hoping I don't step on my own dick here and miss out on some mad gains or something like that in the bull run. But at the end of the day, you know, we have to be able to live with our investment strategies. And Nate, it sounds like you are just as comfortable doing it. Will, you're just as comfortable as doing it as me and Jay are with sort of staying out of that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it continues to go well. And yeah, so we're on the eve of the Pulse Chain Tour. It's pretty exciting. We got Zenith on the way down there. What would it would have taken for you guys to have been able to go to the Pulse Chain Tour? Unfortunately, we weren't able to make it here. Nate, what situations would have had to have changed for you to have been able to make it down there?
More fucking money.
I hear you. What about you, Will?
I have a very unusual work schedule, and for the time being where I have to work, essentially, I can't make commitments to things until it's like almost too late, and then it's more exorbitantly expensive to do things. So something along those lines.
I hear you. And Jay, you're waiting for the top of the bull market to make any sort of discretionary trips and stuff like that, aren't you?
Yeah, and plus you guys already know I run multiple businesses. I make the DRT community a priority. We're working on a whole bunch of things in the background, so it's the same reason I gave earlier when I said I don't want to put too many eggs in too many baskets. I don't want to spread myself out too thin. Like I said, I'm in the middle of a move, so it's kind of like things are just compounding on top of each other. So yes, eventually there will be a time to play. Right now, it's still time to work and work and work and work.
Absolutely. All right, we got a little bit of time to kill. Any of you gentlemen want to talk about anything in particular? Or let me check the chats real quick. Do we have any questions in the chats or anything popping in? Not yet. Not that I'm seeing.
There's nothing crazy going on in the chats. I do think it's we didn't do any sort of emergency stream or anything like that when Liquid Loans launched. We just said, hey, it's live, be careful, guys. And one thing I want to make sure that everyone pays attention to, just kind of double tap on it again, and I spoke about this on our last stream with Liquid Loans, is the redemptions. And that's another mechanism by which your collateral can be taken away from you if you have a loan. So again, because this is a leverage platform, I want to stress that like if somebody wants to redeem their PXDC or their USDL, the two stable coins that are associated with those two protocols, if they want to redeem those stable coins for the amount of pulse that they're worth, and you have a loan, you're the lowest collateralized loan, then it is like then your loan will be paid off by them trading in their stable coins for the pulse chain or for the collateralized item, whether it's pulse X on earn or whether it's pulse on the liquid loans protocol. So make sure that you guys are paying attention to the potential for your loan to be redeemed against, and that's something that I was asking Walrus earlier today in the chats. You can be redeemed past like your $2,000 or your what's the minimum on earn, Nate? I want to say it's 500.
The minimum is 500. So the way that redemptions works that you need to that people need to understand is that you get redeemed for the amount of your debt. Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
if you take out $10,000 in debt, you can be
Mhm.
redeemed. Somebody will pay off that $10,000 and take your pulse, or in this case, right, your pulse X with earn.
Not all of it. Only the amount that's worth the redemption
That's worth that
point
amount. Yes.
at the time of redemption. So if the
At the
price
time.
goes up in between you taking out the loan and you getting redeemed against, then it's basically a forced DCA out, right? And the money that you take out of the system, the PXDC, right, or the USDL, the stablecoin, that is your like your DCA out, right? Except it is somebody else that is making that happen more so than you. And again, this is because it's a leverage system, right? When you take out a loan, you are using this tool that is designed in this certain way, and you just need to understand that these are the repercussions of using this system, using this tool. So it can happen. Redemptions aren't active for the first 14 days of earn. They weren't active for the first 14 days of liquid loans. And we didn't see redemptions for quite a while on liquid loans because the price was going up. And for whatever reason, people just didn't redeem. But again, just remember, guys, like when you have a loan, there other people can redeem you. You know, like if your number comes up in line and it's time for the redemptions to go and you're the next one up, then it's like, well, then congratulations, your debt's getting paid off, and like your collateral is being given to the person who is paying off your debt. So just it's very important for people to realize that, because that was not a lot of people didn't understand that when liquid loans had come out and the redemptions started going crazy. And like over the last couple days, I want to say that redemptions, like there was something like I want to say like $11 million worth of redemptions over just the last couple days. And so if you were like the lowest $11 million worth of collateral in liquid loans, then you don't have your pulse anymore in your vault, like and your debt got paid off. And so it's like it's somebody else taking action for you. So just keep that in mind, folks. That's all I have on that. I don't want to dwell on it too long.
It's also imperative that if you kind of don't really understand what the guys are talking about right now, then you probably shouldn't even be playing around in this right now.
100%.
Like it is imperative that you completely understand exactly what they're talking about. Luckily enough, we had Jesse, we had Walrus in here, and they gave a phenomenal deep dive with Nate Tracker. Was Jeff on that with you guys as well, Nate, or was it just you two? I'm trying to remember when you guys did the deep dive.
No, it was just me and Tracker.
Gotcha. Yeah. Either way, I mean, it was a phenomenal deep dive, and it lays a really good foundational understanding of exactly, the moves to make, what exactly you can expect in the system, and stuff like that. So before you guys even start playing around, make sure you have fostered a strong, well-researched understanding of what's going on. Jay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say something along the lines of exactly what you said, right? That's you being redeemed against. It can happen even if you're familiar with the protocol, right? We had some veterans in there who've been playing around with liquid loans who got redeemed against, right? Even though their ICR, like Will was speaking about, was very high, it could still happen. However, most of the people getting redeemed against didn't know what the hell they were doing, and that is the price that you pay for willful ignorance. It's not like the liquid loans team. It's not like the earn team didn't spend months and months and months putting out educational information on how to fucking use these protocols. It's not like we here at the DRT didn't make a 3-hour deep dive video on liquid loan and earn protocol so that you could learn how to use it properly. If you jumped into those protocols with absolutely zero understanding and you got redeemed against, that is your fucking fault. That might sound like a bit harsh, but it is the absolute truth. Do not play with these protocols if you don't even have a foundational understanding of how something like that works. Nate, Tracker, Jeff, and Brendan, the reason why they're flying high is because they learn how to use liquid loans, and the earn protocol is basically, I wouldn't say a carbon copy, but the mechanisms in earn are very, very similar to the mechanisms that they use in liquid loans, right? So they're able to carry those skills over the same way why we tell you guys, hey, if you want to, you should get yourself familiarized with using Pulse Chain, because when another L1 comes out that you might like, then you have some foundational skills from using an L1 like Pulse Chain, an L1 like Ethereum or Avalanche, because a lot of those foundational skills are going to be carried over, right? That's why we encourage you to do those things. So yeah, absolutely, man. Don't fuck with these things if you don't know what you're doing, because you will get burned.
To add on to that too, one of the things that actually people don't understand about redemptions is it's not necessarily bad, right? If you have the original debt that you took out in your collateral, right, and then you've got the original debt that you took out and then you put it into the stability pool, okay, if you get redeemed against, you can literally just pull that out and then remake the or buy up the Pulse or the Pulse X, whichever one it is, and then remake the vault, and then you can do it all over again. And if you've done it right at that same time that you got redeemed, you've lost absolute zero. However, like Fast Abdul says here, there's actually a strategy where you can get redeemed against, and it's actually a good thing. The reason being is because what ends up happening is, like, if you get redeemed against, okay, and then all of a sudden, like, say Pulse or Pulse X starts just dipping, you're like, okay, well, I'll just let it dip. Oh, cool. Now I'll take that same amount of money back out. Now I technically have more Pulse or Pulse X, and then you can start your vault all over again with more. So yeah, there's kind of a strategy to it. I would say be careful though. Again, I mean, I don't know how many times we got to beat a dead horse over here, but
yeah. And here's the thing, Nate. You know who are the people that know that being redeemed against aren't necessarily a bad thing, and that it's even a strategy you could leverage within the protocol? The people who fucking watch the videos. They're the people who, oh, I got redeemed against. Let's check this out. Do I panic? Oh, no, I guess not. Right? But if you just jumped in there because you wanted to get in on the action, you FOMO'd into there because you wanted to be part of the group, you're not gonna know those things, man. So due diligence.
Good conversation, boys. Good conversation. All right, let's go ahead and hit the chat real quick, and then we're going to introduce our featured member for this episode. As always, we got Tam Tam in the house. We appreciate the viewership. Good evening, Tam Tam. We got Jeff in the house. Will said to yeet all earn yield into DRT, not financial advice. We also got Jeff in the house. Well, hold on, what happened here? Oh, did Will rug? All right, Will must have rugged. Oh, well, we'll get him back here. We got Jeff again. With any complex financial protocol, make sure you understand how it works 100%. And then No Money Mike. Josh, are your bags packed or just waiting to pull out? Or are you still DCAing? My bags are pretty much packed. If I come across a bonus or something like that, I'll still throw it in. But as of right now, my bags are packed. And I'm just sitting back, chilling with a beer in the hand, listening to some country music, sitting on a beach somewhere. That's what I'm doing. So, all right, boys, it's that time. One of my favorite parts, absolutely favorite parts of the show, is introducing our community members to each other. We've had some great folks on. If you guys remember, I don't know if for you guys that have been around since day one, we actually had Zenith come on as a featured guest, and that's how we found him. And then Zenith blew us away so much that we were like, hey, bro, you want to come on again? And then before you know it, we were kind of talking to each other behind the scenes like, hey, we should probably pull Zenith in here because Zenith knows exactly what he's talking about. So it's it's an awesome opportunity for our members to introduce themselves, and it's a great opportunity for the audience to put a face to a name and all that good sorts of stuff. So for this week, we've had an individual that's been around for, I'm trying to think back to when we were on a YouTube channel that I didn't see his name pop up. I think he's been around for a while. He's been around since at least since before 200 subs, I believe, because there were a couple episodes I think we only had maybe 8 to 10 viewers, and I remember him constantly posting so much. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to introduce you to our featured member this week. We have Mr. Moon-Pilled Rational Optics. What is going on, dude? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. How are you guys?
Oh man, your mic is sounding crystal clear right now.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, for the chat, for the viewers that don't understand, we spent probably about 20 minutes. We were 5 minutes late trying to get his mic set up and all that stuff. So everything seems good to go now. How you doing, man? How do you recall how you got turned on to us? What episode was the first one you started watching us on?
I can't really narrow that down to exactly when the first one was. It was definitely after the meetup in Vegas. That's where I got to meet Will, Zenith, and a bunch of the other guys. And I really kept in contact with Crypto Boogie. Like, him and I have had multiple phone conversations over the past few months. And he was the one who turned me on to, like, hey, Degen Roundtable. It's almost half a blur of how many other people like, hey, Boogie recommends Twinkie, Twinkie recommends Sloss, Sloss recommends, etc. We're all in the same boat when it comes to the students of Charlie Miguel, really. So,
yeah, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I want to know a couple things from you real quick, and then we'll go ahead and open it up to the panel. We can have a good old conversation for the next 25, 30 minutes. Number one, I want to know what you're drinking tonight. All right. Number two, I want to know how you got started into crypto.
Mhm.
All right. And number three is what do you enjoy most about the community that we're building here? So what are you drinking? How long? And what's your story about getting into crypto? And then what are you looking forward to as far as what we're building here?
Well, starting off, what I was drinking is I'm polishing off a little bit of the Jim Beam I had left over. And then if I really wanted to get into that Knob Creek that I recommended to Zenith a few weeks ago, probably tap into that, if I run out, but I kind of doubt it. I really forgot to go get my wild turkey for this evening because I really wanted to have it tonight, but that's it for that question. I could go on whiskey to rant for about an hour. How long have I been involved with the community? I'd say I got involved with crypto in December of 2021. No, sorry, December of 2020. I really didn't get involved with crypto till January, February of that next year, 2021. One of the main things with crypto for me was I always heard about it. I was kind of curious about it, but I really never got to follow through with it, not properly anyways. And I saw on PayPal, they actually were offering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and I think Bitcoin Cash were the four. Just one day it popped up when I was inside my PayPal account and it's like, what's this? And this is really new to me. And so I started looking into it. It's like, okay. And then later on that month, I was really following a guy named Donovan Sharp. I'm fairly sure some of you guys know who that is. Well, Donovan Sharp was helping me for a lot of other reasons and everything else about that time of my life. And there was two guys he had randomly on his show that would talk about crypto. So that's how I really got started to the crypto courses, the crypto mindset, and everything else. I didn't take that first crypto, like quarter one from them. I think I took the quarter two later on in that year. So since May or whatever it was of January 2021, that's when I really started getting involved in cryptocurrency and learning more about it, because I saw right as the uptick of where all the prices were going, I saw the volatility, I saw how complicated it could be, and I knew nothing, and I'm very okay with knowing nothing and knowing that I have to learn. So after I got involved with them, obviously watched each one of their shows individually, along with MLDs obviously as well at the time, and I've been involved with the community ever since in the background.
That's awesome, man. And just real quick. And I guess, what are you looking forward to as far as what you're seeing in our community so far?
That is a loaded question, and for those those have been around at the crypto meetup, they'll know exactly what I'm going to say when it comes to this kind of stuff. Is like the level of camaraderie, the level of everyone being on the same page. I don't care if you're Hexakin, Pulsekin, blah 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 blah, your own coin, whatever it is, that has nothing to do with anything. The level of, you could walk into a room to 7 guys that you never knew or never met in your life and pick up as if you were long lost cousins, brothers, sisters, and everything else. It was just unreal when it came to that. And if you really like the Luvium, great. Tell me everything you like about it. Tell me its pros, its cons. Let's go over it. If you like Hex, if you like Litecoin, whatever it is, there was no really judgment. It's like, as long as you weren't doing anything stupid, we didn't care. It's like, it was that, and the RP, the Red Pill community was all on point. And like ever since, like you guys were joking last week or a few days ago with the whole military inside jokes and everything else, how Will and Josh and the other guys can like just look at each other and you know what they're thinking. It was that kind of feeling at being at the Crypto Mindset courses and being involved with everyone here. So, I mean, everyone has been a top-notch type person. Like, no one has ever refused helping someone who has genuinely wanted help. And that's one of the reasons I really like this community.
Love it. Will, what you got, bud?
I was just gonna say that I remember Moonpill seeing you when I first joined.
Is Will muted, or is that me?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, you're good.
All right, sweet. Can you hear me, Moon?
Oh, good. It's not me this time. I'm okay with that.
Okay, sweet. All right.
I cannot hear him at all, if that's the case.
Oh, that is weird. You guys can hear. Jay, you can hear me, right? Give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nate can hear me. Oh, that's so strange.
Try that. Try it one more time.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me when I'm speaking?
Yes.
Okay, so just Will.
Whoa,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I heard everything else. There it is.
What the heck? Okay. Huh. That is strange. I'm gonna blame.
It must be just Will, because like Nate, say something real quick.
Well, yeah. Can you hear me, right?
Yep.
Hello.
Confirm.
Okay.
What the fuck? This is bullshit.
Oh man, this sucks. I really want to chat with Will. I can't hear.
Well, hey, Will, just try to reset your headset real quick. Just do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Quick
you guys chit chat.
Okay.
Things.
I got you. Wouldn't it be hilarious if he was just fucking with Will the whole time?
Oh, probably.
I could see that happening.
Jay, go ahead. I'm gonna step away for real quick. I'm gonna turn the camera off, and I'll be right back. So, Jay, go ahead.
For sure, brother. So what Moonfield said there is one of the things that I also really fell in love with the crypto community in the first place, right? Because of that level of camaraderie. I realized, and I told this. I think I said this multiple times during my last CMC course. I told them, you guys would not fucking believe how much of a relief it is to be with people who know what the hell I'm talking about, who's going the same direction. Because I have a handful of close friends in my life, right? That's here that lives close to me, but very few of them who are in the same trajectory as I am, right? That are willing to talk about finance, crypto, how to make money, how to build a better life, how to create financial freedom and success, how to create life-changing wealth. before I got into this community, you felt so fucking alone, right? Because I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with me that when you talk about money with people, they're either one of two things, or actually one of three things, right? The rare thing is they're actually excited about it and willing to talk about it with you and how to make more of it, right? The other one is they're ignorant, so they don't really know how to they can't really comment on it. And then the third thing is, and this is the unfortunate reality for a lot of people, is because money is so hard to come by for a lot of folks, they just don't want to fucking talk about it. And so when I found um the crypto community through Charlie and Miguel, and now through the community that we created ourselves, like it, every time I jump on stream, every time I'm in our Telegram chats, it just, like Moonpilled said, it's like coming into a community where you've known each other for years, like your brothers and sisters that you've known each other for years. So that's one of the absolute fantastic things that I love about cryptocurrency as a whole, and the communities that we built here through Charlie and Miguel, and obviously now our own community here at the Degen Roundtable. And it's another reason why I don't fucking understand when people get on X. It's like they have a bone to pick with each other. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We are a niche within a niche within a niche. Why are you guys throwing stones at each other? It's not what you like. We're already at the bleeding edge of this stuff, okay? Like, I even now, with these big asset managers coming into the space, I think it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that we are kind of still like the black sheep, right? People, when we talk about crypto, people look at us like we're lepers or something like that. So why the hell are you throwing stones at each other? That's not how it should be. So 100% agree with you, Moonpilled. That is absolutely one of the most fantastic things about crypto, about this community in general, is that you come in here and it doesn't matter what your level of expertise is, people are going to accept you with open arms.
But do a quick sound check. Jay, can you hear me? All right, sweet. Moon, can you
I
hear
got
me?
you, Will.
All right, excellent. I don't know what
is Will
the heck.
talking. Is Will talking right now?
God damn it. Josh, stop
I'm
other
just
thing.
fucking with you, bro. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
knew it.
I'm not gonna lie, Will. That's a very strange glitch you got there. I don't even know what the heck that could have
That was
been.
weird. I unplugged my little USB Wi-Fi receiver thing. I don't know. I'm just gonna blame the damn technology fairies. But Jay, to your point about like the thing, I got a theory on why they get all bent out of shape at each other, and I think it's because people get like so attached to their money systems because they derive a lot of like personal value out of their like monetary worth, right? And so like when you attach your identity to some sort of coin, and let's be honest, guys, doesn't matter what stock you buy, doesn't matter what house you buy, doesn't matter what asset, what crypto, whatever the hell you buy, your thing doesn't care about you. It's just a thing that's worth X, Y, and Z money that other people decide. It doesn't matter how much you love Hex. It doesn't matter how much you love Uruguay. It doesn't matter how much you love the peso. Like, those things don't love you back. They're just a thing that other people trade for, right? So an important thing for the folks at home, and I don't think that we have this to worry about too much with our listeners, because they seem like pretty rational people with moon pilled optics on, or something of that nature, right? But like, people need to be aware that like the things that you invest, they might be a tool that you use, but it's not like a part of you, right? It's no more a part of you than like the t-shirt that you wear when it's sunny outside, you don't want to get sunburned, or the car that you drive when you don't want to walk. It's like, it's a cool tool and we love that they exist and everything, but it's like, the reason that a lot of these folks get mad, get angry, and they have their little emotional outbursts is because they assign a part of themselves to this thing that's not something that's them. And when they see someone else being like, "Oh, my thing's really good, I love it," then their fucked up little mentality interprets that as like a personal attack. It's like, I can't believe that you're going after this thing that's not my thing. My thing is best thing. That's one of my favorite things to say whenever somebody's talking about like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. Is like, stop liking thing I don't like. That's what it all boils down to at the end of the day.
Yeah, the
And it's
pearl
just like,
clutching.
yeah, for sure. And it's just it's absolutely ridiculous seeing the people on.
Well, one
Twitter
of
doing that.
my favorite things to tell people when they're pearl clutching like that, I tell them, hey man, be careful. You clutch those pearls harder and they might turn into diamonds.
Yeah, we would hate to have diamonds in our hands when we're trying to hold on to these pearls, wouldn't we?
Just to your point, Jay, the point that you were making a little while ago is people's finances, that's one of the most intimate parts of their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very intimate. And for you to openly share your financial situation, that takes a little bit of vulnerability. And the truth of the matter is, most people just aren't that good with their money. So when you take something that is so intimate, and when you take something that requires vulnerability and you don't have the skill to do it, it makes it extremely difficult to talk about. And I think that's why, you know, when you take, you know, a subsect of a cryptocurrency group, and, you know, they have the ability to share that and somewhat be vulnerable together, I feel like it does build bonds, and it does, like Moonpill was talking about, you know, you can never. I remember meeting Will in the Miami airport at the bar for the first time, hugged the crap out of him. Him and I, we just sat down, started chatting like we were best friends. Never met the dude the day before in my life. I met Brendan, you know, one time before, but Brendan rolls up about 15, 20 minutes later. We're slapping backs like we've been best friends since high school. So, I mean, being able to, I guess, be vulnerable in that sort of situation and know that, hey, we got each other's back, I think that really goes a long way in driving the camaraderie and the friendships that can be built out of this. And, you know, Moonpill, you said it perfectly with what you were saying. Will, were you saying something?
I was just gonna say, like, I would disagree on it being class. I'm gonna be pedantic here, right, and get caught up in details. But I don't think it's vulnerability. I think it's because we have gone through such crazy things that we now have this calloused skin, and we've passed the test. You know, it's not we're not being vulnerable with each other. We're sharing in like oh, we've overcome, you know, difficult bear markets. We've overcome all this like crazy stuff. You know, it's not us being like soft and gentle and having good times. It's like, hell yeah, bro. We walked over those fires and like and through the thistles and everything, and we came out a-okay on the other side with some scars and blood loss and all that crap. So it's like we made it. And so we're part of the cool kids club. That's how I like to see it. It's
Well, that was just like how you're talking about with trauma bonding.
mhm.
Like that would, when you guys were talking about the military analogies last time around, it was you couldn't describe it more perfectly. I know, terrible English right at the moment.
You're good,
But
dude.
that trauma bonding between us going from the highest of highs in the bull market in year 2021 and everything else, and then us dwindling from like 2,000 followers to 1,000 followers to 500 followers or whatever it was, watching Charlie Miguel every week, multiple times a week, going through these courses when it was not fun, when we saw just nothing but red candles and it's just everything scraping the bottom of the floor. When we all could actually get together and it's like understand, it's like, dude, my portfolio is down 20%, my portfolio is down 40% and everything else.
Yep.
And people genuinely, like I even admitted myself, I've messed up a lot in the earlier days. And to know that there's other people out there like me, it's like, okay, you can either pick one of two paths. I can either say crypto sucks, it's all a scam, it's going to zero and leave forever, or I can learn from my mistakes from people that have done it for years.
Yeah.
And actually take this time when Miguel says, you know, when you're down, time is your friend. Over this course of those 2 years, time was my friend, aping it, not aping in, but DCAing in while all the stuff was down at the bottom and recouping a way better yield when it comes to when everything is going to start pumping up here almost now to the summer.
Yeah.
You
No,
know-
it's a good point there, Moonpill, because it's a perspective shift,
Mhm.
right? You mentioned what you're at the bottom, time is your friend. Well, I think it's fair to say that for a lot of us, and some people here in our team, Brendan in particular, right? He always talks about how he rode the profits up in 2021 and then rolled it all back down to 2022, right? So in a sense, he was technically at rock bottom. In fact, you could also argue that 2022 is probably the worst bear market that we've ever had. And that's where the perspective shift comes in as well. Because when you're at rock bottom, you can complain about how much it sucks around you, or you could think that, well, I'm at rock bottom. The only other direction that I can go is upwards. same concept, right? When you're at bottom, time is your friend. When you're at the bottom, the only other direction you could go is go up. So yeah, it's about a perspective shift there, brother. So you hit it right on the head. Nate, did you? Sorry for interrupting, brother. Did you have something?
No. Perspective is good, and like we've been kind of dealing with this a lot lately, right? Mindset, right? Perspective of mindset. There's a lot of people coming in now who've either been on the sidelines or are just now discovering crypto, and they end up very luckily finding us, right? And they start saying, "Oh, am I too late? I've been hearing that I'm too late, or I'm going to get dumped on," and things like that, right? There starts becoming a little bit of a panic, and people start thinking, "I'm not going to make it," because of all the things that they keep hearing. Or it's the opposite, in which they're like, "Oh, which meme coin do I go get? Like, what coin is going to 1000x in the next like couple of weeks?" It's like, what? Where are you hearing this? You know? And it takes all of us to try and first off settle these people down, and then secondly say, okay, you are a little bit late, but it's not hopeless, and there's still ways that you can go, right, to be able to win. And oftentimes, I've been getting a lot of people, we've been getting a lot of people in our chats lately as well that have just been like, I don't think I'm going to make it. And we have to continually tell them, hey, calm down. Mindset, right? You will make it, but you have to think this particular way. The other thing is, don't think you're going to get rich this time around. Okay. Think, hey, I'm going to make some money, but I'm going to learn a lot this time around. And then when the bear comes, that's when I go hardcore. I put in a ton of money by working hard, getting a lot of money, put in a ton of money. Next bull, bam, that is where the wealth comes from. But it's all about the mindset. You have to start somewhere.
Yes, dude, I'm glad that you brought that up, because like a lot of folks, you can't fix a portfolio unless you fix the mind that's driving it, right? It's like you can't fix a ship until, oh, well, I was gonna say you got to fix the helmsman first, but like really you have to have a solid rock foundation before you start building, right? And if you don't have the right mindset, if you haven't built up the right amount of patience and discipline and perseverance and things of that nature, then it doesn't matter what you have inside your portfolio. If you're clicking the switch at bad times, if you're clicking the sell when you should be buying or holding, or if you're clicking the buy when you should be waiting for a lower price or something like that, then you're just gonna have a bad time no matter what. So I'm glad that you
Chasing the
brought up
green
mindset.
candles, right?
Yeah. Well, just chasing the feel good. Whether it's I feel good because I need to buy these green candles, or I feel good because like I'm so sick of this depression and this low prices in my bags are down 80% or something like that, right? It's like you have to conquer your inner bitch or whatever that's telling you to do these things because it feels good, rather than to stave off this like emotional roller coaster that you're going through. And yeah, so that's something that's super duper important, is people, you got to fix your minds before you go and try and fix your portfolios, right? It doesn't matter how great a portfolio you stack if you fumble the bag like at the first sign of trouble or something like that. So good point, Nate.
That's the best part about the market, is the market's going to tell you if you have the knowledge to be where you're going to be. Okay. If you put money in the market and you lose your money, then the market is telling you you need to learn a little bit more.
Yep.
You need to put a little bit more time and effort into this. You need to experience a little bit more. If you're putting in money and it goes up, now there is that rare exception when we're in the euphoria stage, when everything's blowing through the roof, right? That's the only exception. All right. That is the only exception. But for a solid 75% of the market, all right, the market's not going to lie to you. If you're able to make money, then the knowledge that you have is pretty solid, but there's always room to grow. All right. And you will have lessons that you have to pay for. Everybody does. And that's encouraged. Will has said it multiple times. You know, each and every one of us has said it multiple times. Those lessons that we had learned when we lost money are invaluable. And that's the reason why we're able to be here right now. We're able to have this sort of dialogue. We're able to bounce ideas off of each other because collectively we have been there and we have done that. And Moonpill's absolutely right. It's that trauma bonding. Absolutely right. Jay, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I just really wanted to comment on the insight that Nate and Will gave, because one of the things that I learned very early on, and I learned this in when I started coaching fitness and nutrition clients, and I learned very early on that you can't take people's problems away from them. And that's a very similar concept to what Nate and Will were speaking to, right? We can give you all the tools. We can give you the community that you can leverage in order for you to get to a better place. Doesn't matter if you're beginner or intermediate, we're there. However, we can only do so much. The impetus for change has to come from you. We can't take your problems away from you. Unless you want to change yourself, then all of the help that we might want to give you is just going to go to waste because you're not willing to help yourself. And, here's the thing. Here's another reason why it's important to not try and take people's problems away from them. Because let's say we did provide that service to somebody in the community, right? We handheld them and we took them through the bull market and they made a whole bunch of money. But what did they gain? They gained some money for sure. But are we always going to be there? We're not. But the problems are going to be there. And because we took the ability for that individual to solve it themselves, once we're gone, then they're back in square one.
Well, think about this though, too, Jay. If they get that money, they're only amplifying their own problems. So now their problems just got bigger.
Moon, what is your what is the craziest? I want to throw this to Moon real quick, if you guys don't mind. What is your craziest mindset shift that you've experienced from beginning, like getting into crypto, to wherever you're at now? Do you have something?
Hang on real quick. Will, I'm going to have you re-ask that question. I'm just going to put out an announcements. We're going to touch chats real quick, and then we'll get right back into that question if that works.
Okay, so, you got some time to think.
Yeah, there you go. Give him a little bit of a teaser. All right, guys, we're at that point in the show now. If you guys want to hop on, hang out with us for 10 or 15 minutes. Cassie went ahead and threw the link in the chat there. We also have it in the Telegram. So if you guys are in the Telegram, you guys will see the StreamYard link in there. If you guys want to hop on, chat with us for 10 or 15 minutes, whatever, go ahead and do that. We're going to open that up now. Let's also say what's up to the chat real quick. Let's see. We got Bob Lagai in the house. I chatted with Bob earlier on Vets and Crypto. Awesome dude. What up, oddly well planning degenerates? I know, right? It's a little bit of an oxymoron there. But what's up, Bob? Good to see you, man. If you want to hop in, dude, if you got the time, go ahead and hop on for 10 or 15 minutes. Love to keep that conversation going on. We got Cat's Kitchen in the house saying what's up. We got Hex Glenn in the house as well. Good to see you, Glenn. Brother 64 in the house as always. Hey, Moonpill, I don't know if you know this, but Sam here was showing you a lot of love in the chat. So shout out to Sam, man. Sam's an awesome dude. And we got Steve in the house proclaiming that degens are here. Absolutely. All right, Will, I'm going to send it back over to you. Again, guys, lines are open. You guys click on the link, come on in, hang out, and yeah, let's keep it going. Will, go ahead.
All right, so for the folks at home, and well, actually more so for me, because apparently my pronunciation and enunciation could use some work. Moon, what is your most what is the mind shift that is most pervasive, most profound? What is the biggest change in like your mental aspect from when you started crypto to where you are now, as far as the way that you think about things?
I mean, that's going to be a loaded question for the most part, and that is a great question. Don't get me wrong. Before I forget, Sam and everyone else in the chat showing love and everything else. It's like, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's our community here. I never doubted that we would have this much love for any guest on. So that being said, I'd say my biggest mindset shift is it is not things don't happen tomorrow. and there will be blood when it comes to the streets. If you can understand that gaining more knowledge than even the money you put into the market will benefit you 20 times over. And how I usually explain this to people is, because whenever I did some instruction and everything else, it's like I see people getting all these Gucci guns and everything else and all this other kitted out stuff. Is like, buy one, and then whatever you paid for that thing, I want you to spend 6 to 7 times that much money in training, because it doesn't matter what it is, how much, how expensive it is, how nice and new and shiny, unless you have the knowledge, training, and understanding to go behind it. It doesn't matter. It could be a paperweight, or it could be something that's all you ever need. Like Bruce Lee said it best. It's like, I'm not afraid of the man who knows 1,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the man who knows one kick, who's practiced one kick 1,000 times. It's like, if you get your knowledge down and your experience down like that, then it doesn't matter if you have $100 into the market or $1,000 in the market or $100,000 in the market. The guy that knows more is the more dangerous one. This will make the gains regardless, because while all the other guys go up, down, and crash and lose everything, that one of the guys is slowly ticking up and knowing when to buy, sell, and everything else. So I think that was my biggest shift, was knowing that I have to just step back and learn.
That is absolutely vital for everything that we've been running into lately, with people coming in a little bit late, right? When you're sitting there talking about, it doesn't matter if you have $100, $1,000, $10,000 in the market, the money amount doesn't matter. It's how much you've learned and how much you are learning to be able to utilize that. This is something, what you just brought up here is absolutely insanely vital for people who are coming in and are like, okay, where do I put my money to get this next week 1,000x? I don't know. Where do you think you should put it? That's my answer to them. What do you know to be able to do that? You don't come to me about that. You need to start learning if you have not even an idea where to put that money. Okay, if you're asking me, if you're asking Jay, if you're asking Taint over here, right, and then the Will Stevenson, if you're coming in here to be like, what am I doing with my money? Well, okay, I can understand if you're coming in to be like, I would like to learn what to do with my money, but where do I put it? What? No, you're asking the wrong question.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And unfortunately, as adoption occurs and as the market gets more and more frothy, we're going to have more and more people come into the space like, okay, here I am. What do I do with this? And it's like, that's not the right question. You're not mentally ready for this yet. You need to have a plan, and then together amongst the group, you can bounce ideas off of each other and stuff like that. Unfortunately, that's going to be the case, especially from this point until we have the next the next Bitcoin and cryptocurrency market cap all-time high and all that stuff. That's going to be the case, and we have to be prepared for people like that. It's going to take patience. It's going to take the patience that Moonpill was talking about. That sort of patience, not only in our own portfolios, but the folks that we have coming in that might need a little bit more guidance. And Moonpill, you brought up some really good points there. I like to use this as an analogy. I always like the taste of food a lot more when it was slow cooked rather than microwaved. And when you have a portfolio that you have put your hard-earned money into, yes, it would be great to see it nuke up, but you're going to respect it, and you're going to get more gratification, and you're going to learn more as it slowly grinds up. All right, that's just the case. Yeah, we all want to be rich, but what's the point in being rich if we don't know what to do with it, if we didn't learn the lessons getting there? And that's part of the success. That's why people who are successful and have gone through an entire 4-year cycle and have been successful, that's why they can stick around the following year. And that's why they have earned their diamond hands, and they've earned that. They've forged their blood, sweat, and tears and their emotions in that space is because they went through that slow process of learning every little bit of knowledge that comes along with that success, because that knowledge is imperative. Because if you go from 0 to 100,000x and you didn't learn anything, then it's going to go to 0. That's just the point of the matter. But if you can grow 10x by 20x by 30x by 40x, and you can learn along the process, that is the best place you can be. That's why I like to tell people this is not a long-term, or this is not a short-term game. This is a long-term game. Now, RG3 has made this statement before in the past, and I agree that the cryptocurrency space has evolved and has become so fast, and so the market cap has gotten so strong in such a short period of time compared to the stock market, compared to stuff like that. Absolutely. But we're also in an information technology era right now where things are just moving faster. So adoption has become faster. But still, nonetheless, when you think of relativity and time, it requires that slow buildup, and you have to be in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you there, Josh, 100%, because when you take the time to learn, as you mentioned, right, when the process that you go through is slow cooked, then you accumulate the skills that will not only help you create that wealth, but it will also give you the skills on how to protect it, how to build on it. Right? I think we've spoken about this in the past. If somebody catches a meme coin pump, right, or somebody, they might just hit a lottery, and I think catching a meme coin pump is analogous to hitting the lottery. But most of those lotto winners, they lose their winnings within 5 years. I think the average is 5 years before they're back down to 0, right? Because they became an overnight success, and they didn't learn the skills to create the wealth, to protect it, or to grow it. Versus somebody like you, right? You alluded to, people might think that when you exit the bull market that you're an overnight success. But what they don't see is that you took years and years and years, and your roots are dug so deep into the ground, but all they see is the success, right? And that's the value of doing things the slow cooker way, right? It's because you learn the skills that you need, and at least in this context, right, to create the wealth, to protect it, and to grow it.
Bro, like the ledger's got a fucking balance, man. This reminds me of like people trying to, I want the abs, but I don't want to work out for it. Or like I want to have like this massive value set, but I don't want to have to pay some sort of price to get it. People who go and get liposuction are far more likely to regain weight than people who learn how to diet and this payment process of having to earn it. It's just like anything in life, man. You have to pay the fucking price, whatever it is. You can't get shit for free, right? You have to, if you get something for free, you better, oh shit, I almost dropped some fucking glass there. If you if you if you get some shit in life for free, you better figure out a way to find some sort of price to pay for it, so that way you can like appreciate it more. You know,
Bro,
just like all. Yeah, go ahead.
bro, that is one of my favorite quotes of all time, because people don't realize that you never get anything for free. I say it here all the time: for every give me, there's a gotcha. You might think
Yes.
you obtained something for free, but the world does not work like that. You getting something for free, what you have paid is the opportunity to obtain it your fucking self.
Yep.
All right. Equivalent exchange. Nothing in this world can be obtained without sacrificing something of equal or greater value. Shout out to Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric. Yeah.
This reminds me of something, Jay. Like people think that TV is free. No, motherfucker. You pay for TV. Like even if you've got an antenna, you pay for TV with your attention when you watch commercials. They pay for the TV because they know that you're more likely to buy their products when you watch the commercials. If you go to an airport and some like charity people are out there like handing out roses, they're handing out roses so that way you'll feel guilty long enough to listen to their sales pitch for them to talk about like how you should spend some fucking money on whatever this, that, and the other charity thing is, right? Like nothing, literally nothing is free. Richard Hart gives us the book Sci-Vive as free, so that way we will like appreciate the work that he's done and build into his brand and be more likely to like love him and appreciate him as a person. It's not free. It comes at a price. The price is our attention. And you know, a lot of things that are free, the price that you pay for it makes the whole world better. And then there's other things that are free that when like you pay for it, it brings you down, it removes your resources for you, and it's like it's all just this massive like leverage system, right? If I like oh man, there's this fantastic book out there called Debt, and I highly recommend you guys read it. We're gonna cover it on book club at some point. Once I'm done covering. Oh, by the way, book club this Friday is gonna be Sci-Vive chapter, the intro and chapter 1. If I hadn't said so already, it's gonna be Sci-Vive. But back to Debt. The book Debt covers this very well. How it talks about like the idea of money as a concept of like fiat and stuff is like moderately new, but the idea of debt is as old as time. Like where people would do things for each other to incur social debt. So that way there's like a system of like, I give you this thing, you give me that thing. We both benefit from this process and yada, yada, yada. You know, like I let you borrow my lawnmower, you return it to me like with the full tank of gas, and then you're more likely to like bring me cookies on Thanksgiving. And then I'm like, oh my God, he brought me cookies. I need to like, you know, like trim his trees or whatever the hell, you know, like people getting in debt with each other, making the world into a better place. Like nothing is free, absolutely nothing. And if somebody tries to give you something for free, then you need to ask yourself, like, what am I transacting here? Am I paying with my attention? Am I paying with my time? Am I paying with my health? Am I paying with my energy? Am I paying with my resources? Or am I paying with my brand? Right? When you see like that's one of the most expensive things that you can pay with is your brand. When people try and get you to say things because they know that your brand, your identity carries weight and the things that you say have meaning, and so they try and insert their message into your brand. This is one of the things to be very careful with advertising, right? Is like if you guys, you love our channel and we start advertising to you like X, Y, and Z, this, that, and the other thing, like you're gonna like those of you that love us for our message and the fact that we say all these good things, you're gonna be more likely to consider X, Y, and Z product or whatever. If like God forbid we ever take up advertising someday, like that's something that you can pay with your brand. So, anyways, I wrote a book on all this stuff. I haven't published it yet, but the rough draft is finished, and I'm super excited about it. But anyways, talking about all these value things and these trading things, I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole. Somebody else take this away from me before I don't shut up.
Okay, so number one, Josh. Now I could give my story to basically give a real life viewpoint on everybody. Like literally anyone can do what it is that we've done. With everything that Jay and Will just got done saying is absolutely amazing, and I can give a real life example of it with me spending my time, a lot of time actually, years. However, Josh, would you rather move into trying to get people in here or?
We don't do. I don't think we have anybody lined up in the background right now.
Right now? Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, we're so here's what. Yeah, we're gonna keep the conversation going. If somebody wants to pop in and jump into the conversation, by all means, go ahead.
All right. So I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead with my whole thing then. My spiel. So paying with your time, right? Now I would say the best time to get into crypto is during the top of the bull. Number one, it's because you learn, oh, crypto's a thing. Cool. Maybe I should get into it. Oh, there's people getting rich. Sweet. I can get rich. Number two, getting around people like us who have already kind of been through it all. And then being like, yeah, bro, you're a little bit late. And then having that darkness come over you of like, oh, oopsies. Well, I guess I'm late and all is hopeless. But then having people like us being like, no, this is the perfect time for you to get in. Why? It's time to learn. Here's what happened to me. Right? What was that, Will?
I was just gonna say, bro, this is like the best time to learn how to ride a bike is when you're at the top of a hill and you don't got training wheels and there's a whole bunch of like nurses and EMTs down at the bottom. So like you're gonna crash and you're gonna learn to hate it, but you know what? We got your back and we'll pick you up and we'll get you right back on that bike and send you straight back down the hill and you'll do better again.
Dude, that's sick. That's perfect. Absolutely fucking perfect. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, but yeah, you had something, Josh?
No, I was just gonna hit the chats real quick. Let's say what's up to the chat.
All right.
Real quick. Good little break real quick. We got Vets and Crypto in the house. Shout out. Make sure you guys smash the like button 100%. Had a really good, really fun time with him on stream earlier today. So shout out to Vets. We got Luna C Point in the house. Good to see you, Luna. And we got Centurion in the house. He said he ran late from work, but better late than never. Absolutely agree with you there. It's better to be here, even if you're late, than not being here at all. Nate, did you want to finish your thought, or did we want to transition to another topic?
Well, mine simply has to do, I guess, with the story that most people, like, I started in the bull, right? And yeah, let me just go through it. Here's a little hopium for anybody who's starting to get in, right? Who's starting to get in now. I started getting in actually with Doge, which was technically the end of alt season back in, what was it, 2020, 2021, somewhere around that area, right? That's when I really started trying to get into crypto. And I started realizing that, oh, this is how you make money. The exact same thing everybody else is thinking, right? Because I was hearing about it at that time, but that was also the top of the bull market. So I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked hard, and I ended up throwing about $10,000 into it, right? And do you know what I got by the time I was out, 2022, right? Summer 2022, zip. Because I was following people saying, buy this, buy that, all the influencers, and poof, gone. Okay. Now that everything's poof gone, I literally just left crypto for a long while until I came back around. Hilarious enough, it was Charlie Miguel. And I thought to myself, you know what? I still think crypto is the way to go, but I'm doing something wrong. Okay. Mindset change. I had to drag myself out of this shit. Mindset change. And I thought to myself, okay, this time I'm, instead of like just using that money to go buy cryptos and whatever somebody's saying to buy, I'm going to pay a mentor to teach me how to go fish, right? And I spent all that money. Okay. Now, let me go ahead and say that it was about 2 weeks ago that if I added in all the money that I had originally lost, plus all the money that I had put in, it was about 2 weeks ago, I'm finally in the green. All right. I want you guys to think about how much time that took. 2020 to now. All learning, having to drag myself out of the darkness, which there was a lot of personal things going on too. So it wasn't just like crypto alone, money-wise. There's a lot of other things going on, but I'm not going to get into that, obviously. But it took time. And now I'm finally in the green. Okay. And what's next now?
Yeah. One of the things that I really like about Nate's story there is because he came at a fork in the road, right? And a lot of people, once they've lost that $10,000, you know what they do? They point the finger at X, Y, and Z influencer, and they said, it's their fault. It's not my fault, right? For those of you guys who've been with me for a few crypto mindset courses, you know how harsh I am to these people who get back in those chats and then point the finger at Charlie and Miguel. It's your fault. I spent X, Y, and Z amount of money and I didn't become a multimillionaire, right? Those people took the opposite direction that Nate did. Instead, what Nate did was he lost the $10,000, a very expensive fucking mistake. But he humbled himself and realized that it was nobody's fault but his own. And that the only way that he could remedy the situation is by even paying more money for mentorship so that he doesn't repeat the same mistakes that he did over and over and over again. So that's a story that's very common to almost every single person in the space. And when the time comes that you come across that fork in the road, I just hope that you take the route that Nate took, that I would say every single one of us here on this panel took, right? The humble route, humbling ourselves to realize, like what Moonpill said earlier, that the more he knew about the space, the more he knew exactly how little he knew. All right. So that's I just wanted to tag that on there because that was an absolutely fantastic story by Nate.
For sure. And you know, Jay, I'm gonna have a conversation with you here real quick. You've trained power lifters before. How many power lifters do you know that came in day one and they were able to squat 700 pounds? They weren't able to, were they? They had to stack weight 5 pounds by 5 pounds by 5 pounds every single step along the way until they were eventually able to get there. They had to destroy their body. They had to break their body down day in and day out. They had to go through those pains. They had to get through that process. But where are they now? They're able to do that. They're able to achieve the goals. Think of your weight loss goal, Jay. You know what I'm saying? How long did it take you to lose the weight that you had on when you were younger?
So probably over a decade, because over that time span, it was a lot of, okay, lose a lot, regain it, because I didn't have the knowledge, lose it, regain it, and then only probably until the tail end of my college career was when I got to the point where I was like, okay, now I know how to lose it and keep it off. And now I'm confident enough to actually teach other people how to do it. So it was a better, like, of a decade.
And you've been able to maintain that success, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Because of that mindset, because of that trial, because of everything that you went through. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a great story, Nate. I mean, your story is absolutely great. It's 100% accurate. And it's definitely a testament to the trials and the tribulations and the stuff that you have to go through and the lessons that are required to be learned in order to accomplish something and in order to have at least some degree of success in a given area. I mean, we can apply that to anything. We can apply that to finances. We can apply that to, your work profession. We can apply that to fitness. We can apply that in any avenue in life. The things that we're saying here also applies to other areas. You have to be willing to go through the process to learn how to get there. Moonpill, got a question for you. To the extent that you're comfortable doxing your background, tell us a little bit about your background, man. What did you do after high school? What career wise, what career field interests you? If you want to share any of that stuff, feel free.
That is a lifetime story right there. I've done near everything, and now it's probably not, I would probably take a whole stream going into the more details of what I've done. Little things. After high school, in high school, I've been everything from the multiple types of different trades. I grew up building things, tearing things down, working around trucks, heavy equipment. I jokingly make the comment, I could run a 6,000-pound crane before I could drive a car. That's my family's company. We were able to do that growing up and learn at a very young age responsibility in mechanics, construction, and so on. After school, after that, and during that school, bounced around to a couple different schools. Ironically, I studied biblical and theological studies. So Glenn Lawrence and I would probably have had a few good conversations here and there on that topic. After that, and there's more to that than that, I've gotten into firearms and self-defense instruction. I was doing that for several years, going out to multiple states, dealing with different types of people, from civilians and not civilians, dealing with that. Did that for a few years, and then got into the operating service about 2 years ago in the engineers corps. So that gives you. I know I'm being very vague on that, but again, I would probably be here for 3 hours going into the more nitty gritty of everything.
I got you. No, it's not a big deal. What once you're able to obtain that financial freedom that that you're ever elusively chasing, what's the game plan? What do you want to do? You want to roll it into real estate? Do you want to stay in the crypto market, start a business? What do you have on your radar?
Starting a business right now is probably gonna be the best thing because I'm a huge fan of Robert Kiyosaki. Um, Depending on which market I go into, I have my certificate. I'm getting my certifications in insurance, different types of insurance licensing. So my brother and I may be getting into something to deal with like commercial real estate and insuring the commercial real estate. But that's still in early stages. But ultimately, way Kiyosaki talks about, you have to start a business. Put your money in assets that are obviously going to accrue in time and gain value. I know I've followed multiple different types of, we'll go gurus when it comes to financial instruction. I know Boogie is a huge fan of Dave Ramsey. I know Dave Ramsey is a little behind the curve when it comes to where to put your money and how to really grow it over the course of time. We all know we could go and gain, a lifetime's worth of money in less than a lifetime. It doesn't take 10, 15, 20 years. But either way, like if you look at him and Kiyosaki, they both advocate for starting your own business, because that's how both of them make their own money. As far as this, I don't see me Lamboing out anytime soon. I think it's just more of paying off my house, taking care of everything, getting my family and Cat. Obviously, Cat. After you met Cat, of all of us squared away, and just leave it at that.
Moonpill, I love that you mentioned Dave Ramsey because I am also a very big fan of Dave Ramsey. I don't there's a lot of people that are respected in the space who bag on Dave Ramsey, and I will die on this hill. Okay, Dave Ramsey is fantastic for the overwhelming majority of the people because most people have absolutely zero financial competence. People that don't even know how to balance a fucking checkbook, who don't even know their monthly expenses, right? They have absolutely no business investing in real estate or investing in crypto. Like, learn some basic financial skills first before you go into something as degenerate as crypto. And that's the kind of service that Dave Ramsey provides, right? And that's why he's so fucking successful. Because a lot of people who exist in the middle of the bell curve don't have a clue about what it means to keep a budget, to make more than you consume every single month. And that's why he's so useful. So, thank you for mentioning him, man, because he doesn't get enough props, bro. Like all of the hyper successful entrepreneurs, with an exception, a handful few that I follow, all bag on him, bro.
Since the 1980s, when the credit card boom started, Dave Ramsey's material on how to get out of debt has become more and more valuable every single year, I feel like, because the amount of debt that's floating around right now. I mean, not even, I mean, we could sit here and talk household debt for hours, but even look at like the national debt and how that's growing. But, breaking it down to the household, people's individual debt. I know it took me reading Total Money Makeover to start me down the successful journey that I've been in now. And, I remember being 19 years old, going in and getting declined for a Best Buy credit card. You know what I'm saying? I was 21 years old and couldn't get a Kmart, credit card, or, the first credit card when I got out of the military, it had to be like a secured credit card where like I had to pay $200 and then I got a $200 line of credit. And it was just one of those weird things. And then slowly but surely I built my way into the success that I have now. You know what I'm saying? And I founded a credit repair company, and I had clients that obtained success, doing the stuff that I was teaching them to do. And all that started through Dave Ramsey. So 100% I agree. Now that's the debt portion. Ramsey might have different investment, opinions and stuff like that, but his work on debt is 100% top notch. I would recommend it to anybody. Every single person out there. I was going to dox a little bit, but I'm not going to dox a little bit. But either which way, his information is great. So, all right, guys. Hey, one last check. We're gonna see if anybody wants to hop in. Go ahead and join the StreamYard. You guys will find the link in our Telegram. Cassie's also going to throw the link up one more time in the chat. If you guys want to hop in and chat real quick, we'll give you guys about 3 or 4 minutes if you guys want to pop in. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and start the wrap up process. So, hey, while we're waiting. Any final questions or anything like that? Jay, Will, Nate, go ahead.
One more question for Moonpilled. Oh, unless he rugged. Oh, there he is. Okay. So, brother, I have one more question.
A fake out.
For you. I have one more question for you before we round out the show here. So, the community knows exactly the type of coins that we are bullish on. Can you give us some insight on one particular project that you don't hear people talking about that you are super bullish on? What is it? Why are you bullish on it? Can you give us some alpha, brother?
You cut out there for a second, so I'm assuming you were talking to me. Being realistic, I'm a huge fan of Polkadot. Anyone's ever seen me in the chat, I usually will comment on it here and there. I know Charlie and Miguel took it. We're talking about it early on in 2021. Late 2022, maybe here and there, not even 2022. After so long, you never heard anything more about it, but I kept just keeping updated on it. What are the new projects? What are the new things like Moonbeam, Moon River, and everything else? And I liked the fact that it was going to try and do something that no other coin was going to be able to do when it comes to interchain communication. So that goes back to one of my other previous statements was when people aren't talking about it, when people aren't, really excited about it and everything else, that's when the time to look into it and buy and do the proper moves. So I'm really bullish on it. I've been staking my DOT for a long time now. I really love the Fearless wallet. I'm getting more gains. I was getting more gains in a bear market than I was in my bank's savings account. It was just unreal. So I would say that's my coin pick.
What is it about the value proposition of Polkadot that has you so bullish? What does it do that no other token out there does? Or maybe it's just a small handful that tries to do it. But what about Polkadot specifically that they do so much better that nobody else is doing, and why we should pay attention to it?
I don't think it's a huge. They do something so much better. They just have a niche market when it comes to that. I know Charlie and Miguel have talked about that a lot, and the fact that Gavin Wood was someone who was heavily involved with Ethereum, obviously in its creation, I believe proper usage, charismatic leader, good usage when it comes to actually building on top of it. I know there was a lot of talk about building games on top of it. It's going to be a very useful chain. It may not be something overly crazy, but it was something that most people weren't talking about for a while. And I believe when it comes back, like Charlie just talked about early on in his stream earlier tonight, was you may see DOT for 15x from its current price, and that's going to be in just its it's technically second run. So that's why I'm kind of bullish on it, because I like its use case and I like the tools around it, because anything you could truly gain 20% yield on APY just sitting there, kind of like Hex. I know Hex is obviously a lot greater, but you could lock it away and then you can unlock it within a month and you got your liquid bag again. And it was really nice when it comes to that.
Hey, real quick, guys, we had somebody hop in backstage. His camera's off though. Hey, Large, do me a favor. Can you turn your camera on? I just want to make sure you're decent. Don't want you doing anything inappropriate, anything like that. You can go off camera before we bring you back on.
Before Large comes on, I will say, so I just pulled up the chart of Polkadot, and when Moonpill says he's it's undervalued, certainly. most like look at Solana, how many X's Solana has done. Polkadot is only up about a 2.5x from its lows. So if you were thinking about if you like it the same way that Moonpill likes it, it might not be a bad time to rotate some of your gains into Polkadot if that is something that you're interested in, because it is severely lagging behind. Only a 2.5x from the bottom, guys.
That's one of those things you want to make sure you look for too, is laggers, by the way, at this point in the alt season.
Yep, for sure. All right, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna add large. If you want, you can turn your camera off. I just wanted to make sure you were good to go. You weren't going to do anything weird. That's also. If you want to keep your camera on, cool. Just give me 1 quick second here.
Well, we're waiting for Large.
How you guys doing?
He's gonna start talking about the fragrance of the day.
What are you guys smelling? What's the fragrance of the day?
The fragrance of the day.
Yeah,
that's Boogie's thing, man. He always
that's Boogie's thing. That's not Large. What's going on, man? How you doing, bud?
I'm fantastic, dude. I'm over here working right now, so I'm glad to hear you guys. Though you guys are all fellow Moongangers, right?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Perfect, man. Cool, right on.
My fragrance of the day for you is Tapatio. So that is the fragrance of the day.
I like it. I like it.
First, I'm more Mexican than Boogie, and you can tell him I said that.
Hey, Large, you know what Will does with that Tapatio, bro? He just dabs a little bit on his head, man.
That's right. He puts it in his shampoo, does it all that. But what's going on, man?
Tapatio, you put that shit on everything, bro.
What you got on your mind, man? What's going on?
Nah, nothing. Same thing like you guys, bullish on everything. Everything GameFi right now, and I'm kind of glad I stuck in there. Just give you reference. I've been here since 2022 Q1 when everything just giga dumped, and shit the bed, and still here. I'm glad I'm here and trying to make money off these games.
Hey, the fact you're still here means you're balls of steel, man. Let's go.
That's right.
Yep.
Diamond hands, baby. What are you most excited about coin wise? Which coin are you looking at right now? What are you most bullish about?
Most of my portfolio is gaming, but for sure, I got into DeFi Kingdoms first, and then still bullish on it to the day. I bought it at 30 cents. I bought it at 20 cents. Just dealing with the way money came in, and that's what I got. And then there was a good point, I thank God for that I had gotten into Illuvium and in Ethereum when it had crashed down to $800. I was like, fuck it, dude, like put it on and sticked it out for a year and said, fuck it, let's make these fake coins, I mean not fake coins, you know what I mean, imaginary coins come true. And yeah, it's cool, man. It's glad to. I'm glad to see put faces into the names that I read in the chat and whatnot. This is cool.
Large. So you mentioned you're very big into GameFi. So
yes,
like Illuvium, DeFi Kingdoms, we like a lot of our community is pretty big on those too. But what other either game studios or maybe individual gaming plays that you're super bullish on in this space over the next 1 to 1.5 years?
Man, I got a feel something's telling me, and I've been asking Miguel and Charlie questions regarding regarding them seeing if they work with other crypto coins, because when we were doing DeFi Kingdoms, I noticed that one of the liquidity pools you can get into had Phantom in it, and I'm like, wow. And then mind you, they're both moving about the same way, and I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, so it makes you wonder how much money is invested per both or whatever. But definitely I'm interested in the correlation that they all have within each other.
Hey, Large, so we got a question from Luna in the chat. Maybe you could give her some insight. She's asking about your thoughts on Gala games.
Man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. So when I was in Q1 also, don't know nothing about computers too much. Got into the crypto mindset course on one. Never asked Liam for the chat. Never did. So the whole time I'm going in there blind, not knowing what's going on. I had a feeling about Gala, never got into it, lost out at that opportunity, lost out at that chance. Wish I would have gone in it. We hear FUD. That it will be my next gameplay. I'll be honest with you. That will be. I got some money coming in. That's going to be my next gameplay. But I haven't done any research besides what I keep hearing about what everybody's doing.
So Gala, actually, it's a pretty decent play. It's actually lagging a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the cool thing. Now remember, all right, the place that we're at right now. This is altcoin warm up. Okay. This is not altcoin season. Right.
Yep, exactly.
So warm up, you get pumps. Some things are going parabolic, other things are just lagging behind. welcome to the warm up season. So Gala's lagging a little bit. It started pumping, but it's still lagging technically. And here's the thing about Gala. So Gala is very specific on like phone apps, phone games, right? They really want number one, it's a studio. Okay. Number two, they're trying to focus on phone games. Phone games are technically the most popular type of game that is out there, the most money making that is out there. That's just flat. Okay, now if you add those in alone, you can think about what
I can answer this call, guys. Hold on for a second. Dang it. I'll put that mute, sorry.
No worries, you're good, bro.
Yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Man's handling business. Man's grinding to work right now. Gotta handle.
Nate, you were saying, bro?
Yes. So just to finish that thought, right? For anyone who's thinking about getting into GameFi, like, oh, what do I get into? Blah blah blah. So Gala is trying to focus their attention as a studio on phone games. Phone games have a tendency to be number one most popular because phone, duh. Number two, the most all the words escaping me. Most gross profit out of all other types of games. Okay. Obviously, it's because there's little microtransactions going on, and people just kind of like push a button and they just keep going. Right. This is going to be huge. Now, here's the issue that they're lagging. Well, actually, there's two issues. The number one issue is that they haven't really come out with any good phone games yet. Okay. That's kind of the biggest issue that they have right now is like, there's really nothing that's catching eyes. Okay. They're working on it. They're coming out with a lot of different stuff, but there's nothing in the pipeline as of currently that goes, wow, that is definitely it. Right. Number two, there's been some FUD running around. The FUD is that the executives, the heads are kind of fighting with each other right now. Even with that happening, though, it's still pumping. Okay. Again, lagging, but it's still pumping. So that's an indicator. Okay. It still goes up, but it's still lagging behind. Maybe kind of like with Richard Hart coins and other types of coins, right? It's that something is holding it down a little bit until, like a spring, right? Spring, like that until it doing, and it fucking goes.
Yeah.
That's my take on Gala.
To add on to Nate's points there, Luna. So Nate made a lot of good points there. Number one, he said, right, the most lucrative games out there, they usually exist in mobile, right? Precisely because of the reason that Nate mentioned, that it's very easy to introduce microtransactions on your phone because it's a click of a button away, right? It's a lot easier for people to get involved in something like crypto because it's accessible on their phone as opposed to something that's on a console, right? Like you're gonna have to jump through a few hoops, right? There's a lot more barriers to entry for people playing on console to get into crypto. So that's one thing that Gala Games has going on for it, right? If they're trying to specialize in mobile games, that's one thing. Number two, they're a studio, which means the assets that they produce in their games if they're going to follow the footsteps of Illuvium, all of their assets are going to be interchangeable between every single one of their games, which is good if you're a studio, right? The other thing, and this is something that I think they're uniquely doing that other gaming studios are not doing, is they're not just focused on games. They have Gala Music, and they've also got Gala Films, I believe. So it's not just games; they're doing music, and they're also doing movies or shows or what have you. And
they're
finally,
a media company at that point.
Yes, they're a multimedia company. And then finally, Nate also mentioned this, is that even though there was a lot of this FUD with the founders going on, they've recovered pretty significantly from the bottom, right? And they're hanging around the price point that they were at like mid-June of last year, right? So that's a good sign. And lastly, like Nate said again, they're lagging. From now to all-time highs, you're looking at about a 20x plus. And that's assuming if they only reach all-time highs, right? If they get their shit together, and they actually release good products and they get going in the bull market, 20x, that's your minimum. So that's our thoughts on Gala. Unless the rest of the panel, Large, you had anything else to add to that?
No, it's yeah, that sounds amazing. You know what I'm saying? This is my first bull cycle, so I'm excited to be in it, you know. And then yeah, I can't wait.
Enjoy the ride, man. You know, enjoy the ride. Even, you know, even the downfalls, even the hard times, just enjoy it, learn from it, you know, because where you're going to be next cycle, I mean, you're going to be leaps and bounds farther in your path, and you know, you'll be able to you know, help people out and stuff like that. So just continue to grind and enjoy it all along the way. So
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. I'm trying to get all my coworkers to get in, but it's hard. Knowing the knowledge that I know about all these coins and how much they're gonna go up, you know, they don't. I can barely get in them in Ethereum, dude. And I'm like, you know, I'm like,
and when they come to you, when they come back to you and they start telling you, "Hey, can you get me into this?" That might be a sell signal. Just keep that.
I
in
agree.
mind.
All
right.
Yep.
That might be a little bit of a sell signal. All right.
Mhm.
So we're gonna be closing out here soon. Large, did you have any questions or anything you wanted to ask? Any comments, anything like that? You just hopping on to hang out, dude. I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. Thank you for the invite. It's cool, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
actually did have
100%.
one thing to kind of add on.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment on the chat, guys. Come on, get those likes up.
Yeah.
There's
That's what I'm
27,
talking
24 people, somewhere on there. Look at them.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Large, to your point about trying to get people involved in crypto, you know, like coworkers and all that. I got a coworker that I trust, and he's a smart guy, right?
Mhm.
And so, you know, I just kind of talked to him in private about what it is that I do, you know. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I bought Ethereum a while ago. I bought three ETHs, and it's sitting on my Coinbase account." I'm like, "So you have 3 of them?" He's like, "Yeah, it's still sitting there. I mean, it went way down." And I was like, "Oh, okay, so I guess I lost the money." And I started thinking to myself, okay, what if Ethereum hits $20,000 per Ethereum? Okay. And I started kind of talking to him, hey, you know that it doesn't matter about the X's and all that. Like, you hear that talk all the time. How many Ethereum you got? You got 3. Okay. So if you have 1 Ethereum equaling $20,000, that means that if you get out at the appropriate time, you could have $60,000 sitting there. Now, it was something as simple as that made his brain go, oh. He was like, wow, really? Yes. So almost in an instant, right? You could see the whole, like, oh, I lost my money, just disappear out of his PTSD.
Mhm. I've said that to them, dude. I'm trying to tell you, and yeah, man, it's hilarious. I've been not saying that I'm taking credit for saying it, but I told them, hey, the guys I follow, you know, Cultivate Crypto and Miguel have been speculating, hey, $100,000 for Bitcoin this year, and they're looking at me like, this dude, he's broke like us. He's working with us. Who is this guy? And I'm like, hey guys, hey, I've been, you know, I've seen my stuff go 99.9% down, and I'm hanged on, and I saw it melted my face in January last year when it was last year or this year when Illuvium went up. That was pretty cool. It went up a 3x from what I bought. And I was like, no, I believe, and you know, listening to what they say, hey, you know, just hold on and wait. You know, it only goes up and to the right, and that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's all about the way you say it. I've noticed, because like there's a lot of people, like, they're coming in at this time, right?
Mhm.
And you have when you talk to these people, you have to think like, oh, the only thing they've been hearing is, oh, I've lost money. It went to zero. It's all a scam. That's still fresh in their minds. So as soon as you start talking crypto, you don't say, oh yeah, Hex Pulse, that's gonna go 1000x.
No.
Yeah. You don't start saying that, because that sounds like everybody else being weird, you know. You start saying, oh yeah, you know, it's a thing, right? And crypto is just one of those very volatile things that goes way down, but then it goes way up again, right? Currently, right now, we're at that position where it's starting to go way up. And that's when you get them going, oh, really? Cool. Maybe that's something I need to diversify into. What do you think I should do? That's when you're like, that's when you go like super safe, right? And you're like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
Bitcoin's a little bit late right now. You know, yeah, it may hit. You can hear it from everybody. It may hit 100,000, may hit 150,000, whatever. But I mean, you're at 69 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what is that, like a 2x? It doesn't really matter. So go into something a little bit safer, you know, go into something like Ethereum, right? Where you can actually get good gains, but also be safe at the same time, you know? And all you got to do is simply go on a simple centralized exchange. And it, when you keep it so simple, like for people like us, right, who really truly know crypto, that's like, oh, what are you doing? But for these people who need to be like, you need to be gentle with them, you know? It's like, just get a little taste, just get a little taste of it, you know? So yeah, it is interesting though. Trying to work with people coming to you with like, oh, you do that crypto thing, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. So like I said, when they see me, I'm smiling all the time, and they're like, "Oh, what your crypto's up or down?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm acting like I won $1 million. I'm gonna be honest with you, you know." And then usually they're coming at with me, "Oh, doesn't it go down a lot?" I'm like, "Yeah, it does, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, definitely it does go down. But if you hold it, you wait, you could win. That's it."
Large, you can tell them. So does your dollar. Your dollar also goes down.
I do, because they're like, "What is it backed by?" I'm like, "Dude, what is your money backed by?" It was last I checked, it was pulled out 1970 from the gold. You know what I mean. I'm like, dude, I'm like really tired, guys, but definitely, I'm like, dude, like you can't. They come at me and I, like I said, nicely, I'll say, hey, well, what is your dollar backed by? Well, how much trust do you put on it? You put your bank in your money in your bank. You put $5,000. It's going to be worth $5,000 in 10 years. No, it's going to inflation.
Large, you know, one of the things that I think why it's so hard for people to conceptualize that, bro, because well, here, so because we use the United States dollar, right? It doesn't hit people here as hard when inflation comes after them and eats into their savings and eats into the buying power of their dollar, right? But other people in other countries, right? You know, it's like Argentina, El Salvador, where they're like wheeling barrels of money to like buy daily necessities because their currency has been so devalued. Like those people, the inflation is really upfront in their face. But here, it's a lot harder for people to conceptualize that your dollar is actually also going down in value because it's not as in your face as it is like in other
correct,
you know, other countries. So we don't want it to get to that point, which is why we're trying to get into crypto, bro. You know,
exactly.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, Moonpilled, any final questions or anything like that before we start wrap?
No, I'm gonna keep mine simple for tonight. I just want to thank each and every one of you for letting me come on. This has been a great experience and everything else, and I know each and every one of us has just had a great time tonight. I have to do one little special shout out to my boy Gains by Casey in the chat. He was the one that actually turned me on to the Degen Roundtable, and I'll forever be grateful for that one. I got to actually give him a call one of these days. I got to actually catch up with him. Outside of that, I'll save my questions and everything else for the next time around.
That works, man. That works. Yeah, that's awesome. Gaines is awesome. Okay, yeah. He's so cool. We've had him on stream before. Awesome dude. Yeah. So I'm glad you found us, man. I'm glad you're friends with him and all that good stuff. All right, let's say what's up to the chat one more time, and then we're gonna go ahead and transition into wrapping up. We got Nate the Great in the house. What's up, degenerates? What's going on, man? We got Jonathan Campalo. Good to see you, dude. And we got Paul Sachs in the house. Thick. What is going on, Paul? Missed you tonight, man. Wish we could have had you on. Catch us on the next Whiskey Wednesday stream. Chat it up. We'll have a good time. So, all right. Hey, Large, Moonpilled, we appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm going to take you guys off the broadcast, but you guys will be in the green room. Feel free to hang out back there. But thank you guys so much for coming on. And yep, looking forward to have you guys on again, you know, in the future for another Whiskey Wednesday or whatever. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and pop them off, and then Nate, go ahead and start us up for wrap. What are you looking forward to? What you got coming up around the corner?
A lot of busy things going on. So on top of the shows, we also have all the planning things that we're doing, right? And there's a lot of like, just a lot of things going on. But then on top of it, Earn Protocol is coming out. Trying to have consults with people literally every single day. Which, by the way, consults are open for me. I will help get your portfolio put together. There's been a lot of people coming in saying like, oh, I don't know what to do at this point, or I think maybe my portfolio is not exactly where I think it should be at this point in the bull. Just come here, get it all straightened out. I'm going to give you an attack plan, right? Many months through, you're going to be able to just refer right back to it all. You've got all the links and everything with all the tools to use. I'll give it all to you. You'll be good to go. But because I'm so busy, I'm only going to have one a day. Maybe two if I can fit it in. But again, there's only going to be one a day. So yeah, go ahead, hit me up if you need a consult to just make sure that you are primed and perfect. But other than that, yeah, what is up, Will? What's going on with you?
As far as things going on in the near future, I'm going to be leading our book club on Friday. We're going to be covering Sci-Vive, the introduction, and chapter 1. I think that's probably it's going to be quite a lot of content to cover for Sci-Vive. So for those of you who have not read the book, you can go to t.me /SCIVIVE, Life Through Science, Sci-Vive. And you guys can find the books there for free. Also, a Wild SJ. Shout out to Wild SJ. She has read the books aloud. That's on YouTube. You guys can also go find the PDFs on Sci-Vive, etc., etc. There's plenty of places that you can get it for free. Google SCIVIVE, and you will find it. But that is the book that we're covering on the Degen Roundtable Book Club on Friday. Other than that, I will see you guys on Friday and Sunday. I'm not doing anything crazy in the world of meetups anytime soon that I know of. I know that Zenith, our good Degen Roundtable buddy, is over in what's that? Vegas. He's over in Las Vegas. The Sin City. He's over there chopping it up with the folks over at the Pulse Chain Tour, and probably Miguel and Charlie, and I think Twinkie's over there. I'm sure that there's a ton of the Moon Gangers and Pulse Chains, DNs and Hexicans, and folks of all shapes and sizes, colors, and ducks and squirrels and everything. So big shout out to them. Make sure you guys join our Telegram. Again, you guys can click on that QR code that's right. I gotta figure out blocking. You can click that QR code right, or well, I guess you can't click it. You can click this link that I'm about to drop in the chat. That is going to be the bit.ly link. That's a good way to make sure that you guys get into our channel. But yeah, join the Telegram. It has all sorts of goodies and gumdrops and good information in there. You guys can figure out when we're going live, when we're streaming, what we're doing, like what our plans are going to be. You can find all sorts of cool tools that we are building. Lots of good stuff. So get in the Telegram now. It's free for now. It's not always going to be free. Yeah, that's all I got. Jay, what's going on with you, bro? Oh, and also you guys can find me at linktree/Will Stevenson. I'll drop that in the chats as well, but I got 7 seconds because there's a delay, so I'm good. Go ahead, Jay.
For sure, brother. Hey, gang, thank you so much for being here, panel. Chat is always on fire. Thank you for joining us this wonderful Wednesday evening. We know that time is your most valuable asset, so we do always appreciate that you can spend some of that time here with us. As always, you can find me on X at _P90Hex, on Instagram at agent_J Schroth. And if any of you are making your way down to Vegas, make sure you go and hang out with DRT team member Zenith and Twinkie. I'm sure Zenith is going to try and wrangle Michael Sartain for a book club potentially. So go help the man out. Well, other than that, man, yeah, looking forward to what we got coming down the pipeline because as Nate and as Will said, we've got a lot of things in the works to provide you guys. So once again, thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys next time. Josh, you can take us out, senor.
Yeah, we got 39 watching strong. We've been pretty much holding in the 40s all night. So shout out to the chat. You guys were on fire. You guys make the show awesome. Panel, thank you guys so much. Hey, if you guys haven't joined the Telegram, make sure you guys join the Telegram. It's definitely an awesome place, especially all last week. We had Telegram calls and all that stuff. Jay was on fire. Blaine or Dace was on fire. All these guys were on fire. Everybody that's in there, they were all contributing, and it was awesome to see. So
y'all were going wild. Not gonna lie, that was a lot of alpha you guys dropped. Whew.
Yeah. If you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you guys sub to the channel. Make sure you guys follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on what we got, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us all over the place. You guys can also go to wait a minute. We'll give you guys that information some other time. Anyway, my name is Josh. You guys can find me on Instagram, on Twitter at Chocolate Taints. That's where you guys can find me. Panel, you guys did great. Thank you guys so much. Whiskey Wednesday is awesome. Absolutely love the stream tonight. Moonpilled, thank you so much, man. Well, can't wait to have you on again. For those that have stuck around this long, thank you so much. For those that are catching us on the replay, make sure you catch us back here Friday night, 8 o'clock. For Will hosting book club, and then we'll be back here Sunday at 8 o'clock. So, everybody, we hope you guys have a great night, have a great week, and remember, Degen responsibly.